Hi, I'm Farrell Spencer. My friends called me Spence. Let me tell you about my life story. I was born 3 miles east of Cora, Missouri on July 9, 1914 in a farmhouse. Cora is about a 3 hours walk to Milan. We lived in one little dump after another. They were tough times. My parents were Gordon Brown Spencer and Iva Mae Jennings. They were poor and their relationship was unstable and eventually ended in divorce. I was tossed from relative to relative. Cora is located in Sullivan County, Missouri. Both of my parents grew up here. All of my grandparents are from Sullivan County too. Here is the 1920 census. My father went to Oklahoma and got remarried. I had 3 siblings, they are Woodrow, Oren, and Eunice. I was the oldest. My mom took our family to live with her dad Dave Jennings. Grandpa was a mean old bugger and was not happy to have more mouths to feed. One story that makes me feel bad was when Grandpa Jennings forced my mom to give back Oren to Grandma Spencer's, where I lived. They drove a horse and buggy over on a Sunday. We watched Mother drive away, she was sitting there bawling. Oren cried and chased the buggy. Grandpa whipped at him to make him stay. Grandma Carolyn Brown Spencer raised us kids from now on. She was a saint and a good old soul. She could chop down a tree just as good as me. She was Methodist, so I was too. We worked hard on the farm. We raised vegetables, but not carrots. We thought they wasn't very good. I worked like a dog, chopped wood, milked cows, and did other farm chores. We lived on 110 acres. We lived in Twister Alley. Whenever there was a threat of a tornado, we would take a trip to the storm cellar. We had lots of bad ones. Once I was sleeping upstairs. Grandma called, "Farrell, get out. There's a terrible storm coming." A huge tree fell next to the house and the chicken coop was destroyed. I enjoyed hunting, trapping, and skinning anything from a skunk to a muskrat. I'd take them to town to get a few bucks. One day, I was shooting squirrel since they were good eaten. The gun slipped and I accidentally shot my toe. I lived in the Prohibition days where it was against the law to drink booze. We knew where Uncle Clellan hid it. My cousin Clifford and I would sneak the booze and only drink the top part of the bottle, then fill it back up with water so he wouldn't know. One thing young people don't understand about those days. We didn't have any money. The Great Depression hit and Sullivan County didn't offer me enough. Franklin D. Roosevelt started up some government programs that I soon joined. I left Grandma's farm and joined the CCC. I first did a project in Missouri, then off to the west. Eventually, I worked near Heber. It was a 1,120-mile journey and the culture was very different in Utah. I was at the CCC camp south of town. We worked near the Deer Creek Dam on welding. For the first time in my life, I made a decent salary. I would sneak out of the camp at night by crawling under the fence and walk to Etheawin Carroll's house. We became engaged February 1938. We were married on the 12th of November 1938 in the county courthouse in Salt Lake City. At the time, I worked for Storm McDonald at a car dealer. I didn't own a car at the time, so we rode to Salt Lake with him. He was kind enough to let us drive one of his cars home. I didn't know too much about driving or Salt Lake, but we made it home. I found some work in Tacoma, Washington with my friend Melvin Moulton. We first lived at his sister's house, but eventually called up the family to come up for about a year. I worked as a metal worker in a motor garage in 1940. I built my small family a home at 405 East and 200 South in Heber. It was 22 feet by 30 feet. It's been in the family ever since. We had 3 children, Gordon, Carolyn, and Gay. I had to miss some of their childhood to go off to World War II. My military draft document has my height at 5 feet 7 inches and a half. 140 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. I joined the Navy and went off to the Pacific. I went to Hawaii, then off to Guam. I built runways for naval airplanes. I never had to fight in a battle. My brother Oren, on the other hand, died on January 24, 1944 at the Battle of Anzio in Italy. His mission was to recapture Rome away from Germany's power. He had a successful amphibious landing at the beach of Nettuno. But within 2 days he was killed in combat. He is buried honorably at the Sicily-Rome American Cemetery and Memorial about 1 hour south of Rome. I was proud of my brother. The war ended. I soon returned home with my family. I said goodbye to my Navy Seabee comrades. Later in life I was in the reserves for the Korean conflict, for a total of 3.5 years of military service combined. I had various jobs through my life, from welding to mechanics. Here is a history of my jobs up to me starting my own business. I told my friend Neil that I'd put up a business of my own. He told me I wasn't smart enough. That made me mad, and when I'm mad, I'm determined. Another one of my friends told me my business wouldn't last past 6 months. In July 1947, I opened an auto body and fender repair shop in Heber. I took out a GI loan of $5,000. We would start work at 6 a.m. and get home at 11 p.m. at night. I would be an entrepreneur the rest of my life. I started a car dealership in 1954, selling DeSoto and Plymouth automobiles, and later added Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep franchises. I was determined to succeed. I liked my family being part of the business. Gordon started working at 14 years old, and later his son David worked with us. I was a respected and successful businessman for nearly 48 years in the same location. We were always number one in the local sales market. We won numerous awards. A good friend once said, Spence's business successes are parallel to the American dream. He was the epitome of the self-made man. My children married fine people. Gordon married Sharon Anderson, Carolyn married Larry Finnegan, and Gay married Ralph Catherine. I served on the City Planning Commission. Gave generous donations to various local civic organizations. Donated the first driver's ed car to the Wasatch County School District. I sponsored driver's ed courses, athletic teams, Boy Scouts and rodeo sponsorships. I lived my life by the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Later in life, I traveled to Missouri every other year to visit my family, including my brother Woodrow, cousin Clifford, and other family members. I remained in Heber and observed my family grow. I enjoyed traveling to Las Vegas. I liked playing Keno. I enjoyed going by myself where nobody bothered me. I was in a bowling league for 30 years and would travel to tournaments as an active participant. I was even seen on TV. I was an avid team bowler right up until my death. Eth passed away in 1994 at the age of 75. We stayed married through the years for the benefit of the children. My last birthday party was in the newspaper. I turned 80. It was held at Spencer Auto Sales on 46 East and 200 South in Heber. I died on March 20, 1995 in Heber at the age of 80. I was survived by 2 children, 9 grandchildren, 21 great-grandchildren, my sister Eunice and my 3 half-sisters, Lahoma Hull, Betty and Velma Wiley. I was buried 3 days later at the Heber City Cemetery. Here is my tombstone. I am Farrell Gordon Spencer, or Spence. I was known for my honesty, integrity, and fairness. I served in World War II and was a successful business owner of Spencer Auto Sales. Thank you for listening to my story.